Welcome in, everybody, to tonight's session. Gotta get things kicked off here and get into the story. Quick shout out to the Forge. If you need hosting service for Foundry, check out the Forge. That's what we're using. Without further ado, would one of you want to recap for our lovely viewers what has transpired last time in this lovely space that is an area that our dear friend Ayu is from?
Emiko lost her mind and killed everyone.
Almost.
Well, we set sail to the land of Hayu. I don't know what your city's called, so I'm just calling it the land of Hayu. Got there, and we are currently trying to figure out more information on trying to either stop the war or pick the best side to go to war with. So the group sets out, goes to 3 different cities, talks and mingles with peoples, listen to see if we hear any rumors or what's going on with the war. And each city has different seas. I think 2 of them would be harder to hit, and then 1 would be a bit easier, but still, I think it was like kind of still unsure. Something like that. So at the moment, we're figuring out what we want to do. We were talking about possibly infiltrating the cities to find out more information and maybe stop a war if possible. Or again, to pick
already started.
It's kind of already started, but like Hayu's not in it yet, you know? Like his family's not in the war yet. They haven't chosen the
side. He only has a couple months till he's in the war.
Yeah, but you know, if we can stop Hayu's family from being involved in the war, that'd be great. You know, either that, otherwise, pick the strongest side. That seems like they would probably win. So that's the choices, pretty much. So yeah, we're just trying to get more information. That's what we're trying to do.
Yep. So, the 3 different cities. Yingdan is the city that has a large number of troops. They're not exactly well equipped or trained, but there's a lot of them. And they're the city that wants to put the puppet from the capital in charge. And that is Zhao Hu. So C-O-U is his family name, and H-U is his personal name. The city is led by Bazi, B-A-X-I. So Ba is the family name. And he is a puppet from the capital. He's a low-ranking official from the capital who they want to put in charge and gain power that way and gain access to potentially something from the capital through him. The heavy infantry city that also you found out has some heavy crossbows. Yangzhou. It's G-U-A-N-G-Z-H-A-O. it has been led by the Lee family, L-E-I, and there's 2 other families there that are notable. They want to put it to have a regional evaluation, and then the heavy cavalry city is Beijing, B-E-I-J-I-N-H, and that is led by the Kao family, K-A-O, and they want to put one of their family members in as the regional leader. So, where do you all want to head first? How do you want to go about your sneaky dinky infiltration to try to get some information?
Well, I know we talked about infiltrating. Do we want to do one city at a time, or do we want to like go in like a group of 2 and a group of 3 into 2 individual cities? I believe the 2 cities that are going up against Hayu would probably be the most likely ones I want to go to.
So there's like, while I like the idea of like all of us like teaming up in one city at a time, the unfortunate drawback is that the other cities, like maybe we would hear things about them, but like that it would, I guess it would be like, I don't know how close they are, so I don't know how dated the information would be.
I guess like my thing is like on time wise, like we don't know how long it would take us to be able to infiltrate a city.
No.
Versus if we split up, we'd have a better chance to get more information.
Well, I can imagine that Emiko wants to go on her own. As you have said, you have said as much, which is fine. I totally understand. Because especially she's
used to working alone and these kind of things of when it comes to infiltrating.
And she doesn't like your way?
Well, it's not bad. It's more so like you guys aren't sneaky.
It's fine, we're not.
And she's used to going in places alone, stealthily, like blending in, doing whatever it takes to get in and not get caught.
Yeah.
And she probably feels that the rest of the group, they're not stealthy.
That's true. None of us are stealthy.
So she is just a lot of the people just don't have that skill set. I mean, she literally trained for this. I mean, she is an assassin. Getting into places is what she does.
So which
I have almost no skills to contribute to this until things go wrong.
Can you at least listen? Like be like just like feign homelessness and like listen to rumors?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. I mean,
Gengetsu is our muscle for when things go wrong, right?
He has ears and eyes. He can use those.
And mouth and
Hey, now.
head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
So, I think that Galway would definitely prefer. He knows that Emiko would much rather go on her own. So he will, if Hayu or Gyang want to, I guess, like partner up and take one of the cities. I know that Hayu cannot go into a city because everybody knows his face and his name, and so even if he tried to,
he could get recognized.
Yes, he could, and so I would expect like if he were to be involved, he would like camp outside the city and like just basically be support. I don't know how Young feels about being direct or being support, but I'm open to anything. I just want to help.
Well, a war would be like, or a ramping up war, depending on how far along the war is bad for everybody, right? So he would be wanting to, at this stage, try and talk to citizens, or especially if they're merchant tier, to like figure out, like, because we're in a different zone, so he doesn't know who is the better way to go and why we're fighting, like, other than we're just have disagreements who should be ruling. Like, it's so fickle to Guillaume, right? Like, so yeah, I guess he would be asking like what like Hayu's family actually want out of this. Like, Hayu asked for Guillaume's help, so he would be trying to figure out from Hayu, like, what is it that you actually want? What is it that your family actually need to be an outcome? What type of outcome? And then he would try and go after that, whatever that is. Like, most likely just gaining information. I mean, he can rally up people once we know what our goal actually is, but until then, finding what that is and how to do it, it like feels like the first thing. I don't know.
Yeah, so it seems like the goal right now is to gain information. Knowledge is power, after all. Information on who might be the better candidate to side with, or information on how we might be able to stop this war would help too.
Okay.
Maybe we can persuade them to, like, hey, let's not fight. Let's have a tea party.
I don't know if it was mentioned or not.
Instead.
Some of the conflict arose when the regional leader passed, the previous regional leader, and there was no successor. And so now a lot of the conflict is over who's going to be the regional head, basically the governor of the region. And so they're all basically, well, 3 of the cities, there's 6 cities kind of in this area, big cities that hold enough power to have a say. There's 6 cities. 3 of the cities are all basically going to war. 2 of the cities have put pressure on Hayu's family to join them, or they'll be seen as opposition and be brought into the war as an enemy. And the 3 cities that are currently trying to push for their agenda, as it were, are the 3 that were mentioned.
All right. Well, we can still have that tea party and put it to a vote. Problem solved.
I mean, you could have a tea party and get everyone to sit down and talk, but
I imagine a lot of arguing at the table, but sometimes you need to argue it out All right, rather than go to war. Get all your
We
frustrations
don't have
out.
political power.
Well, no.
So whatever we want, like, it doesn't matter. It's what it's the people that have political power and the people that are backing them. That
Yeah, well, do your talkie thing and, you know, persuade them otherwise.
Well, if you want him to go do his talkie-talkie somewhere, where do you want him to start his talkie-talkie? And how are you going to set that up?
You know, you just gotta talk your way through each person. What are the which cities? Which two cities are the ones putting pressure on Hayu's family again? So I imagine we want to deal with those families first.
So the two that are putting pressure on Hayu's family was Kingdon, the one that's trying to put the puppet from the capital in as leader, and Binjin, the one with the heavy cavalry, who's trying to put their own child in as regional leader.
and Hayu's family has the existing regional leader. Is that right?
No, there is no regional leader. They're in another city, and they're basically being told, if you don't join our side by those two, then you're going to be declaring war on us.
So, what's the risk to Hayu's family? I'm missing that.
If they don't join someone, they're going to be declared enemies. But they don't necessarily want to get entangled in political stuff. They're a tactical family and a scholar family, but they're basically, because they're have tactical capabilities, they're being told you have to join us or we're going to go to war against your city.
Right. So if a war doesn't happen, then they're not at risk of that. But that's unlikely because they're all vested.
Except for the third city.
Except for the what?
I want to investigate the third city. Yeah, third city that is building the military and seems most of the
Scrappy, you're super robotic to me right now.
Yeah, it's the phone. I don't know why, but it's I can't get a good connection even though it's supposed to get
Something about the phone and connection. That's about all I got there.
All social checks.
Sorry for the trouble.
Okay. So, I know Scrappy was trying to answer some stuff, and his phone decided to make him all robotic. I don't know if you guys caught that or how you want to proceed.
Well,
I think you were saying something about the third city.
Say that again, puppy.
I think he said something about the third city. I think that's all I heard.
Okay.
If you turn your camera off, maybe it'll get a better connection. Won't be draining the bandwidth so much.
Yeah, video
In the
steps up
chat.
a lot.
In the chat, they say the third city seems to be going to war just to spite the other two.
No, the one with the heavy infantry, they want that the leader be put to vote by the prominent families of the region. So it's not just a spite, it's we want it to be done this other way. We don't want either of your choices. We think someone else should be. But they don't have this person should be it.
Any of these people that have been proposed, have they been training to become that? Like, is there skill in the background?
There's supposedly the one from the capital is supposedly already been a council member of some sort, and so obviously has the skills because, you know, if you've been any sort of council position, obviously all the council positions are the same. Not really, but, you know, there's that assumption.
And this whole region is governed by the capital, right? Like, is everyone not aligned with the capital?
They are, but the capital kind of allows them some to pick who they want as their regional leader. So there's some anonymity that's allowed. Where's your mother?
Right.
And so they have to pick because if you know anything about history, a lot of times the kingdom, the capital, right, only cares about getting their taxes. They don't necessarily care about who, as long as they're not too powerful, they don't care. If you get too powerful, then they'll see you as a threat and they'll probably do something about it. But they try to allow there to be plenty of chaos and infighting because then they don't have to worry about it. So they actually are fine with some of that going on because it allows them to have more control as long as it doesn't threaten their plans.
And do we know that if that's the case or not about this particular person from the capital? Do we know that they only have capital taxes in mind?
Yeah, so you guys did find out last time that, the capital isn't too concerned. They allow them to appoint their own regional governor. But the regional governor is responsible for ensuring the region provides the capital with what the capital deems as necessity or required by the region. So it is a position of power, but it is also a position of responsibility.
So whichever way it goes, they still have that responsibility. It's just that if someone else that is more favorable to the people or to the area that cares more about them is available, or and they have families behind them wanting to put them up, but we don't know anything about the people, do we?
Sorry, I was
Do
asking
we
a
know
question
anything
about
about the individuals being elected or being pushed?
They tend to be appointed, but once they're appointed, swapping out doesn't usually happen. The issue mainly came in because the previous person didn't state a successor, which caused a lot of the conflict. If they had appointed a successor, then unless something catastrophic happened, that successor should have taken over their position as regional leader.
The previous person, were they old? Did something happen to them?
Yeah. No, they passed away. No dirty conduct has been found as of yet. Whether there is or not is a different question, but nothing has been found to state that. No one's looked into it yet, but meaning from the group. But there was no successor named, so it's caused this conflict to show up, and everyone's trying to get the person who will put their interests at place in as regional leader, obviously for, obvious reasons. Because if something happens and the person in charge says, oh yeah, we'll give you a 5% tax break to make sure the other cities have to give a, increase to cover it. Well, guess what? Not a lot they can do unless they want to start a war. But then if the regional leader has the other cities backing them, it's 5 versus 1, right? So it is a worthwhile position to have on their side, but it's usually can cause problems if they lean too heavily one way or another.
And there wasn't anybody already being trained / under the person that there was already there?
There was a number of people. The previous person had, be the term, people helping them do work that they appointed. So kind of like employees, but not really. He had a number of them under him who would go out and be his representative to the 6 cities and basically be his word there.
And do we know what any of those think?
No one's looked into that as of yet.
You're
You're asking questions that weren't asked last week.
Yeah, Young would like to suggest that someone does that. He doesn't think that he is the right person for it, but perhaps Hayu would be, or Emiko, who have actual high up contacts, would be the best person to talk to people like that. But that would be finding out what the people that were actually helping before should have a better idea of what would actually be the right thing. Maybe they have their own interests in play as well, but they've already been involved, right? They would know the most. So getting in touch with them sounds like a good idea. As far as what Gyang would like to do, he would like to talk to merchant families to get an understanding of what the benefit to city line people would be with each of these leaders. What do they bring? What skills do they have? What reputation do they have? And find out about each individual who's being pushed, because that's, the person that's going to lead needs leadership. They need skills. And so he's interested in putting the most skilled person and the person who's most interested in the people up there. But then that may not, that's just his thought, which is why he keeps going back to Hayu saying, my idea of who's going to be right may be different to yours. You need to tell us who your family wants to back, if any of them, or if, I don't know. that high-end information is really important before a lot of these decisions are made. So I'm having trouble knowing what Gyung can find. Because he's interested in helping the people. But he's also been asked by Hayu to help him. So Gyung's in conflict because he doesn't know which way's what. And we haven't got Hayu here in the chat because he's driving.
Well, we could always say when Hayu's back, ask him and get that. Which would then also allow you to do
what his family knows, or is that you?
I said some of it last week. I don't know how much he remembers. And he probably doesn't remember all of it and probably doesn't know all of it. But I'm curious to know. Some of it is also what Hayu himself would know or deem appropriate, not just what his family is aware of.
Okay. Does anyone else that's not Gyung know what they want to do, where they want to go? Because before I have this information, I don't think he would act. So I would try and shine the spotlight on somebody else who has a better idea of which aspect they want to focus on and how they want to do that until I have that.
Can you hear me now?
Twice. You're in here twice. Now you're in here once. Perfect. I will. Odd. I will say from Zangetsu's perspective, Hayu asked me to help, so I'm basically going to stick to him unless he asks me to do something else specifically.
So at this point, just to fill in Matt mostly, but we're still in an information gathering stage. So no hard decisions have been made on anything. So what you're talking about is exactly what we're trying to do. We spent the last time going around to each town, getting a feel for the town and like seeing like, do any of these people stand out as particularly good, worth following, or, you know, particularly horrible. And from what we can find, they all treat their citizens reasonably well. They have somewhat different approaches to it, but their citizens all seem reasonably happy with being there. No major complaints from anyone that we could find. No common complaints, really, beyond just your normal common stuff of fuck taxes. And so that's when we were like, well, there's got to be more. There's got to be dirt. There's got to be something that we don't know from the outside. And that's when we started discussing embedding spies in each city's leadership to figure out more. And yeah, that's basically the catch-up. The details of what each city focuses on, I think, were discussed while I was having phone issues. But yeah, so basically what we're discussing is which direction to go to get more information and how to get that information, whether that be spying, just straight up asking them, splitting up and spying. You get the idea.
Right.
Did you hear the question he had for you?
So we haven't chosen anyone. Our family, the reason my family asked me to come back here is because they were between a rock and a hard place and didn't know which one to go with or who to trust. And so that's basically why they asked me to be here, was to figure out, do we join with one of these people? Do we try to find a way out? Like, yeah.
I'd say, Matt, the overall ideal outcome would be preventing a war.
Yes. But also seems like probably the hardest one to accomplish because we just don't know enough.
Okay. So, and preventing the war is probably like, other like, because each of these families the families are wanting to war with each other, essentially, or there will be a war if their elected person doesn't get power. Is that right? Like that.
They're all
That's
There's
what
already
posturing.
been a few skirmishes, and they are ramping up for wars so that they can get the person they want in position. They're saying it's either my person or it's going to be my person.
my person or war, which will be my person. Okay.
So there's 3 different perspectives. 2 of them have designated a exact person they want. One says, no, we need to have the notable families of the region vote. So those are the 3 current mindsets. There's 3 neutral cities that haven't joined in the conflict yet, that have not been looked into what their leader or the notable families feel.
Okay.
But to be clear, from what we remember, the 3 main cities are the most militarily powerful in the area. The 3 that are actually trying to put, correct? Because if I remember right, we were looking into it, and the other 3 cities are smaller and not nearly
One's a
as
merchant
well organized.
city. One you don't have a whole lot of info on, and one is the one that Hayu's family is from. And it's more of a scholarly city than almost anything else. They're not exactly huge into the whole conflict thing. They're more documenting scholarly works, artistic works, stuff like that. So that doesn't mean they don't have any martial arts capabilities, but there's no military other than the guards.
Defending a city is very different than going to war.
This feels
Exactly.
this is starting to feel like a 4X game.
Well, I mean, I'm a strategist, so it makes sense.
When
It's
when
his
you were
fault.
still struggling to connect, Scrappy, Guiyang / me mentioned that, or asked the question about whether there were people under the previous leader, ruler, governor, whatever they're called, who were
Yes, civil
being
servants.
trained. And DM said yes, and there were a bunch of them. They had helpers for each of the 6 cities. And so having you or Emiko who have some sort of noble connection and potentially could reasonably talk to those people or gain access to those people who have already been working toward, in some sort of capacity to gain that level of information is important to Guillaume, because we just don't have enough. And then he is kind of leaning into you and saying, well, I don't have that access, and he would say, I have my own take on what might be important for rulership, but you asked me to be here. What sort of information and from whom are you wanting for me to get? And he's sort of he's asking to be led by you, I guess, because he just doesn't know which. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't either. Actually, that's why I asked for you guys to come help me. The goal here is finding out who's worth supporting, or if there's a path to negotiating, because that is my highest skill. A peace treaty where we can get someone in the regional governorship that everyone is at least content with, even if they're not happy, so we can avoid the war. But to do any of that, we desperately need more information. when it comes to how we get the info, just straight up asking local civil servants, I can definitely do. There's a very good chance, obviously this would be up to our DM, but there's a very good chance my family would already have some contacts, because I'm sure a major family would know their tax collectors, for example.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there would be other types of regular civil servants that, check road conditions and shit like that, that your average important person would have at least heard of. So there's that to consider. But yes, that I could definitely do. When it comes to trying to spy on the other 3 cities, I need to be careful, because they, of course, know me. But just going up to the legal civil servants and asking them questions, I think would be perfectly fine, and I don't think would raise any suspicions.
Yeah. But, okay.
My fear is making one of the 2 cities believe that we have already chosen a side and attacking us. And so that's why I'm being so cautious about what I'm being seen doing.
Yeah.
Which is basically why I need your guys' help to get the information that I can't go get because of my position.
Crappy, I'm going to send you some stuff in Discord so you have it there.
That would be excellent.
Then
That you would be able to get from your family when you talk with them.
Guess right now, Young could go to a city that we don't have as much information on, or one of these people that we don't have information on, and ask, and spend time with the merchant caste trying to gain more of those pieces of information. I have no concept of anything else that I could do here. Unless someone else has an idea about something else that I could do, because at the moment
further information gathering is a good idea for sure. You being a merchant and going to the other merchant cities is a fantastic idea. So I like that. Whatever city how he wants to go to, I will happily accompany him to that. I can be his bodyguard, and then be a cook or whatever. I don't know. This is all great information. I just think that we need more info for sure.
So
my thoughts were potentially we could split up and each person go gather information in their way. I was thinking, for example, Genesys, we could send to one of the very militarily focused cities like the Cavalry City. The skills he brings to the table would make him too appealing for them to pass up hiring him. And he might actually learn something he would find interesting on top of the spine.
Yeah.
And then, honestly, Emiko could realistically, with her skill set, spy on any of them. And then I was thinking of having Yahweh go and basically hire out as a cook or a tavern owner or something, either in one of the major families or right next to them, so that the people from that family constantly stop at where he's working. The thought I had for me and gang was similar. More upfront information gathering, talking to merchants, talking to people like that, and then being around to support our spies, whether they need someone to help them get out or if they just need to pass on information. Those were some of the thoughts I had over the last week. I hadn't actually thought of asking the previous civil servants, so that's actually excellent.
I mean, for me, Galway's just not a very good information gatherer. He's just not. He's much more of a. I mean, he's gotten to where he's kind of boisterous and not really low key, and he's also very, I don't know, kind of gregarious and like just.
Yeah, that's why I wanted you to run, like cook in a restaurant or like be a bartender.
Absolutely.
That was the idea, was
100%.
to use your somewhat friendly / party-like nature to get people to let down their
Totally.
guards.
DM,
You
which,
wouldn't be an actual spy. You would just be someone who picks up information really close to where we're trying to get information.
do any of the cities particularly have a penchant for mercenary hiring?
I'd
That
imagine
has
they
not
all
been
do right
looked
now.
into.
What?
That hadn't been looked into.
But I would imagine all of them are hiring right now. They're preparing for a war. At that point, you take any meat for the grinder you can get.
I mean, if you want, front row grunts who you don't really trust and cannon fodder, yeah, absolutely. They'd all take mercenaries of that sort.
I wonder if they're hiring assassins.
Yeah, why don't you go ask them if they want an assassin for hire? Let's see how that goes.
Free range assassin! Free range assassin!
I mean, if you ask the right person, they might say yes.
It's all about asking the right person, and then like my job is to go kill Hayu's family.
So I'm
That's the third time you mentioned that. I'm
Go
starting to
kill
get nervous.
Hayu because his family hasn't told us yet that they will join us. So kill
this is,
their prominent
when
son to make
run
them
out.
join
This
us.
is when they run out of time and they don't choose them. I just go for the opposite. If they choose one, then I go to the opposite side and offer my assistance. It's like, hey, I can get in close, guys. All right.
I can get in right there with the Zugan family and I can take them out. Okay. Realize it's the opposite
This
of
would
what
be
you should be.
this would be the third time that she's mentioned this. I'm starting to get a little nervous.
I think she just wants to like stab somebody. Finally.
She just fascinates about.
Well, it's like, this is what you get for not paying me.
She just fantasizes about murdering my entire family. Yeah, it's nothing to be worried about.
So I'm curating a list of questions to try and get some information. I want to state what these questions are and see if any of you have other questions that I can add to the list. Would that be okay?
Mhm.
So right now, other than who they are pushing, what do these families want? What does their representative offer skill-wise or intent-wise for governorship? Why do they just want their rep? What would that benefit them? What would it offer them? And why does only their rep offer this benefit?
Those were all excellent questions.
So what you want to know is
I've
what
got
you're going to do for me.
Anyone?
I'd like to add the question, which city pays the most to mercenaries?
Now, the answer to some of these questions will vary based on who you ask.
Does anyone have any further questions that we should be asking? I've noted the one about which city pays the most for mercenaries. We think of anything else that's important to know?
I mean, do any of the
Are
cities
they
like,
Are they hiring any maids?
oh my god.
I cannot picture your character cleaning.
No. Well, she's not going to be cleaning. She's going to be dirtying things up.
No, you said you need information. I get information.
Why don't you pretend to be a doctor then? That seems like something that would get you hired much faster.
100%.
We're presuming that we get in, right, at this stage.
If they don't
It's
have a
not-
doctor already, which I
Well-
imagine most of them do.
So I mean, I personally don't know which city that Hayu's gonna go to, but like the city that has the best food scene, quote unquote, so that it would probably be like best for Galway to like step into as a chef.
Okay, I would like to make a check. This is going to not be the right check for me, but maybe it gives other people ideas too. You know, we're playing characters and our characters have skills. So potentially using their skill to help us answer some of these questions about who, where, what, why, or like if there's things that we're missing as players is a good way to go. So I'm going to propose that I make some sort of skill check on Gyang. So to see if Gyang thinks of a different type of question or that we should be asking in service of the goal. The goal being trying to find a peaceful solution to this governorship problem, essentially. So, would that be society and culture, I'm guessing, to check that?
That would work, I think.
I also have a question. Would I know if my family has done any business over here?
Pull a skullduggery check to see if you recall.
While she does that, what would I like? I know that like I'm not necessarily from around here, but like, is there a way for me to check if anyone knows me or knows my face here?
My dice were
So you're just gonna walk around and just like approach people and be like, "Who am I?"
No.
You know me? Do you know me?
Hey man, just
Do you
wondering,
know
have
me?
I
'Cause
ever been
really
here
like to
before?
know.
Someone here may or may not. It's kind of hard to know for certain.
Yeah, I just don't know like where I'm from anywhere near here.
What
Exactly. You
is
don't know.
the difficulty of this check for society and culture?
So you're looking to know if there's a way to try to end the conflict peaceably?
No.
Is that the primary, or
My check is to see if Gyang knows what other questions he could ask in service to that goal. So there's a difference between achieving that goal or trying to achieve that goal and asking questions that direct us towards achieving that goal. Does that make sense?
okay? Yeah.
I'm checking his knowledge, his ability to assess what the right questions to ask would be.
Yeah. Do a standard difficulty for that, I guess.
And I got 3 successes and 1 threat for mine.
Yeah, I didn't succeed, so I do not add anything, but there's a threat there if DM wants to use it.
So, as you guys are sitting here talking, Emiko immediately goes pale.
Oh no.
Because Hayu mentions the leader, the former regional leader, and
Juju.
says the name. And Emiko, you killed his only child.
Oh no. Well, this is awkward.
You might want to avoid that one.
I'm sorry.
You take a
Who was
strain,
that?
and you know that if you get found out, the whole region is probably going to.
They'll be going to war with me.
Yeah. So there's a way you can end the war right there again. You just let everyone know that Emiko's at fault for the, heir not existing.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, listen, my bad.
Offer her up.
The thing is, I don't know about that.
Wait, could I, what can I say except I'm sorry?
I mean, it was a
That
contract,
works, right? I just have to apologize and everything will be fine, right?
I don't feel like that's what I just really feel like Emiko would go more of a Maui direction. You're welcome. You're welcome. That's just is more the vibe that I get from her. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Oh, she's changing.
threw your-
She's changing.
I threw your region into chaos. You're welcome.
You're
Requires a story
welcome.
point.
The reason you're being threatened with war right now is because of me. Sorry.
So
I mean, you're
that-
welcome.
I do think
I'll-
that. Sorry, I do think that, Emiko, if you are trying to turn over a new leaf, then I don't know.
Here's your opportunity.
Give her, yeah. Take the opportunity to. I don't know how to. It's not mend fences. It's to reckon. I don't know. Find a way to make it up to them by, I don't know, doing something else, but it's really hard to make up for assassinating their only child.
I mean,
And
the guy's
putting
dead
the
now.
whole region
Yeah,
into
and because-
disarray.
Right. So essentially, the whole region is now in the verge of this war because of the actions she took.
How you should be really unhappy with Emiko.
I'm gonna
No
be
one
like,
knows
I'm
this
sorry.
yet. Emiko knows it.
I know. I'm like, sorry. Who was the dude, the original guy that was in charge of all this? Again, what was his name?
Juju.
Okay, cool. The others want the power now because they don't have an heir.
Yeah, well, they see an opportunity to put someone they know will like them or side with them in the position that just got vacated. Would be the way to put it.
Right.
There is one city that just basically said, I don't like either of the guys you have to choose, and so fuck you. Choose somebody else. But, you get the same general idea. They see an opportunity.
Right.
So whoever didn't want that heir that she took out, should be thanking her. So maybe.
Do I know who gave me the job, or was it just my parents saying, "Here's the name"?
Yeah. So what you should do is maybe, I don't know, maybe write home and ask who.
You want me to write my parents who are wanting to kill me?
See, I know this is unexpected, but I'm in this city right now, and I remember doing this job. I know you want to kill me, but can you tell me who?
Why are you suggesting suicide?
You guys know?
Yeah,
know the
I
summer
think I'm gonna
camp song?
pass on that.
Do you guys know the summer camp song, Camp Granada? All
Yes.
about it's literally him reading a letter that he wrote to his parents.
Now,
I'm just picturing a song of your character doing that, and it's very entertaining. Hello, Mudda. Hello, Fada. Here I am. Wait, no, I shouldn't tell you that.
I agree with Matt. I think it's 4 point flips. That's a really big plot point.
so when I assassinated the heir, do I remember where I assassinated them and somewhat the layout?
You're like, there's just so many, you know? It's
You know what?
hard to remember them all. Too bad there's not a magical Polaroid.
I keep a list of all the names I've wrote out, put a lot crossed out.
Dangerous.
I
Yeah,
keep
that's
a
dangerous.
list.
Do you have them tattooed somewhere?
No. It's
'Cause I know somebody. Like, never mind. Go ahead.
it's kind of like a thing, like where like I remember them all, kind of thing. Whether it's a physical list or a mental list.
Got you. So Emiko has PTSD. Got it.
Yeah.
I mean, we already knew that.
I'm just like, I feel like that, like hearing that and knowing that as a player, like that should give us like a direction.
Well, keep in mind, unless Emiko tells everyone.
Yeah, no, I know.
So I have
That's
I
why
have an
I'm
immediate direction. Whether we
looking-
split up or stick together, I think, is the question at this point.
I mean, I'm with you, how you. It's like if we split up, then it's you and me going somewhere. If we go together, then that's fine. If Emiko goes to a city and Zangetsu goes to a city, then that's fine. But I'm pretty sure that you and I are gonna end up in the same city.
Yeah, well, my
Imagine I
first
shouldn't go to the
mission is
city
going to
that
be
I
to go.
assassinated the heir.
My first mission will be to go to
Never-
the regional center.
Rule number 1: never go back to where the crime was committed.
I mean, if literally no one knows it was you that committed it, does that matter?
So
I
we've got
hope
how
no
you
one
going to
knows.
the regional center. That's really good.
Yes.
You
Thank
can't control everything.
Well, our DM informed me of the information my family would have been able to pass on to me, and likely would have already passed on to me, about who had power before. And so I'd like to go interview them now that you've brought that up, because I didn't think about it before.
So Galway is going to go and join you.
And yeah, and to my knowledge, the way local power works in most of like feudal China / Asia, a powerful family is almost a government official, just inherently, because they produce so much tax money and control so much property. So there's a very good chance they'll tell me a lot.
Right. Emiko, do you have preference which place you go to do the thing that you were going to do, get information, whatever?
The farthest city from where I committed the crime.
Which is the farthest city, man?
Actually, that's the problem. So there's 3 that are kind of on the coast, and there's 3 that are kind of inland. And in the center is actually it's not really a city, it's a massive fortification and residential abode that is where the regional leader reigns out of. And so it's kind of a city, but it's not one of the 6 cities. It's more of a fortified abode. Yeah, there's some permanent residents there, and there's a village or small town kind of connected with it, but it's
like a regional hub.
very defensible, huh?
Like a regional hub.
Yeah, it's the regional leader's abode,
Okay.
and he put it in the center so he could easily hit those 6 cities.
Hmm.
And he has plenty of training grounds and stuff there, but no one has the authority to call upon his troops, so they're all just there training. So there's a large military force there that no one has authority to call upon.
So just don't go to the center.
Which is exactly where Emiko wants to go, right? She wants to go check out his home again.
Just checking out the sites. Like, oh yeah, look, wow. The only thing that's changed
they did
is
clean up it all.
And if you look really closely, you can still see the bloodstains.
Well, for now, I want to go to the merchant city, I guess, and then Zangetsu. Do you want to go to one of the more military ones, maybe?
Whichever one pays the most for mercenaries is where I'd prefer to go, but I'll go wherever.
Or shall we make a check now about that? So
If
we
you want to
can-
roll the check now, you guys went back to Hayu's hometown, so it'd have to be someone there that you'd be asking. Who would you talk to find out this information?
I would talk to Hayu.
Okay.
Because then
Hayu,
nobody
who
can
would you-
talk to me.
Hayu, who would you talk to find out this info for Zangetsu?
Apologies, what was his question again? Sorry that I missed that.
Which city pays the most to mercenaries?
Oh, got you. I mean, honestly, I would feel like my family would know that information. Being
It
strategists
changes,
and
but yeah,
locals.
there's a good chance. Yeah. Let's have you roll a society and culture, I think, or maybe it would be tactics and warfare at this point.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Instead of switching from the ninja to Forge, I closed Forge. 1 second.
Whoops.
I'll be right back.
No problem.
And then I'll roll.
What's going on? Matt, were there any other questions you wanted to ask here, or you wanted to wait till you get to that place to ask them?
Well, Youngs has specifically addressed the group and asked if any of them have any other questions that we should be asking. So that would, if this is it, then he will just go to there. But he just wants to double check that none of the characters think that we should be asking any other questions before he leaves. But beyond that, that's it.
Hayu, you're able to find out that recently the pricing has changed, and due to the issues, the 3 cities are willing to hire on mercenaries, but they're not paying the best price because they don't necessarily trust them either, because they don't want to hire in a spy. So they put them in kind of like groups that can easily be used as disposable assets because they're not their own people. However, due to the unrest, Langye, the merchant city, is actually paying a higher price for mercenaries, and they're using them as guards. Basically, utilizing them as additional caravan guards to ensure their trade routes don't get interrupted.
Are you willing to stand guard if it pays well?
I think that's kind of what he's been saying this whole time, is if it involves his skill set, which is combat, and it pays well, he'll do it.
Okay.
Yep.
I believe he has some morals, but for something like this, that's not even really something he needs to worry about, so.
I guess I'll look into some doctor-y work.
Yes.
I guess I'll heal lives rather than take lives.
You know what? You are more than welcome to, like, after you get, if you take a break, you're welcome to think about inflicting harm. But healing is a good thing.
I suppose.
Especially if you're turning over a new leaf.
So, given that 2 are going to the center, 2 are going to the merchant city, would there be another of these cities either that we don't have information on at all, or that directly are connected with one of these families that we could get information from? For Amico, like for Amico to go to.
Was that to me or to the group?
Well, to you, I guess.
I mean,
Do we have
there's
too
6.
many? Too many to like? Do we have too many cities to be making that decision? I don't know.
There's 6
So much
cities,
going on here.
and then there's the regional leaders' fortress.
Yeah, but we've got 2 people going to the regional center.
Right.
We've got 2 already going to the merchant city, so that's fine. So is there a city that Amico can go to that has both, like, or something, like has 2 things that she can go to for? Like maybe get close to one of these families, or maybe there's a city that has one of these families that we don't know as much about that she can go to, like that's just so that we have some sort of direction as to where to send her.
Yeah, so there's the 3 cities you guys visited last time briefly to get some preliminary information. She could go to any of those to get further information. Those are the 3 that are kind of riling up for conflict. There's the other neutral city that no one's really gone to or gotten the information about. And then you could always ask around in Hayu's hometown to try to get additional information about what's going on here. It's all a matter of where you want to get information on and what information you want to get. If she wants to try to go and cause chaos, probably one of those other 3 cities that you want to cause problems for would be the best, since you're trying to stop the war. Messing with those who are trying to start war probably is the better option, but that's up to the group and her.
Yeah, and maybe the neutral city knows more if they see all the points of view. We don't know. So, Amico, given that information, do you have a preference?
No, I guess I guess I wouldn't want to go to the city that's most likely to maybe recognize me.
Well, that's the center, right? You don't want to go to the center.
Yeah, I don't want to go to the center of the city, so that's like basically kind of the only place I don't want to go. everyone else should be fine. I guess it's I guess I would say like what does everyone want Mako to do? Do you want me to cause chaos and stuff?
No.
Would
Kian
you
would suggest
to gather information?
Kian would suggest, with his limited knowledge, going to the place that we know nothing about that could possibly give information on all of them might be a good idea, but he would defer to what Hayu says, because Hayu is the one that we're trying to be here to help. So,
Well, it's kind of a steps thing. And like I said, the main thing I think of is whether we split up or all stick together. If we're going to split up, it's fine if some of us go one way and some of us go another, then we rejoin and share information. That would be more efficient timeline-wise.
Which it already sounds like everyone's splitting up because 2 of you wanted to go to the regional leader's fortress. 2 of you wanted to go to the merchant city, and then there's...
No, I'll go to a different city so that we have more coverage.
Okay.
I personally think that the cavalry city and or the heavy infantry / crossbowman city would be the most likely to hire you.
Okay.
The other city likes to hire low-end infantry in large quantities, and I don't think you really fit that bill.
It's what they have. That's not necessarily what they would hire.
Yeah, you may be right.
Well, I don't have much riding skill, so I think the infantry city would be a better choice.
Maybe they could teach you some of that skill. Doesn't this game have a tutor aspect to it? I thought it did, something like that. People being able to teach you a skill you don't have, so you can gain access to it. As if
you
it's...
can just have the GM say that that's what happened, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's my point, is that the game has it built into it. It doesn't have to be your class, so to speak.
Right.
You can go learn a skill and make it a class skill.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that was just my point, is that would be an option.
I don't know that he uses heavy armor or heavy weapons either.
He's been wanting to upgrade his armor.
Well, not to heavy armor, though.
Fair.
No
It's
matter which...
a much more expensive suit of light armor, essentially.
No matter which city you go to, their existing military doesn't really fit Zangetsu. However, as a mercenary, if that's what he goes as, he would basically be put into a camp to be used as cannon fodder against the others. Because, if the mercenaries die, you don't have to pay them.
So which one is going to be the most likely to yield useful information? That's the kind of where I should go.
That's hard to say. It's kind of a judgment call for you all to make.
I mean, I could make a roll to see if my character can succeed in that, since I've apparently done so well on my roll already today.
Mm-hmm. You rolled really well last time.
Yeah, I'll
too.
defer to Hayu as to which city I should actually go to. So.
Hayu? Which city?
Yeah,
do you
no, I'm
think?
just trying to ask. I'm trying to ask in my own head here whether society and culture or tactics and warfare would technically get the better answer. I know it probably doesn't matter that much. Also, I have the same skill level in both, but
It would change the information you get. Or how you understand it.
Probably society and culture, because that'd probably give you more information about where they're weakest as far as information.
that is my thinking as well.
Wow.
Wow, that's mean. That's wow. 6 advantages? Are you fucking what?
Fail with 6 advantages.
How advantageous. Sadly, this is not considered a social situation, so I can't use my one little boon that I have.
Right?
When I'm arguing
you
with
don't
people,
know.
I get some other
which one.
benefits.
Right. However, you know how those three work. You know, the other cities use guards, so if you wanted to hire on long term, he might be able to, get info at one of the neutral cities. But you're not really able to advise him which city he should go to based on.
Yeah. Obviously, we don't have this information, but the goal would be like, which city is going to more likely, like, highly prize his skills, so they're more likely to bring him in close and give him information, and that I'm not sure.
All right. Well, how about this approach? Which city is most likely to have conflict where I'll have a chance to potentially shine and get noticed?
I think that's, again, all the same.
That would be a tactics and warfare role, right?
The most likely to have conflict would probably actually be the merchant city, because it'd be their merchant caravans that have conflict with either the...
I mean, no matter where I get notoriety, it might spread around, right?
Yeah.
Or perhaps, like maybe Gang can help facilitate that.
Yeah.
You could roll attack.
You cut out there after you said roll.
Yeah, no, if you want to roll a tactics and warfare, you could try to make an evaluation tactically where you could try to make an impact to gain attention.
Difficulty?
Standard. You are not sure.
So yeah, I'm just looking to hire you as to where to go.
That roll exactly nothing because it canceled itself out. So it's up to Hayu to make a judgment call. What are you going to tell him?
I'd say send him to if we're picking between the three cities that are majorly involved, I'd say send him to the light infantry city. That seems like the one he's most likely to get noticed in, based on the limit info I have.
Okay, that's where I'll go.
So let's finalize everyone's destinations. Who's going where?
How you and myself in one of the regional centers.
Okay.
Kyung's merchant city. Zangetsu's infantry city. It's just Emiko.
Emiko? Are you staying with Hayu's family so you can take care of them?
No comment. Can I want to know who's like hiring, like if the hiring for a doctor position is what I want to get.
Okay. What sort of doctor work are you looking for? Just any doctor work? Because there's plenty of, hey, my grandpa has gout, come help treat it.
Basically, the higher I can get, the better. The ideal is to get close to the people in charge.
Okay.
So, like, I guess, just kind of trying to move my way up.
But it's information gathering. They don't really have that skill.
Yeah, I think you have to specify what kind of information you're trying to gather here.
Yeah.
Because you can coerce it out of them, you can charm it out of them, negotiate it out of them, bribe it out of them.
How are you trying to find this position, Emiko?
Oh, well, is there like a bulletin board? Because always check the bulletin board first. See if there's a for hire in a position like that.
Because we all know that every city always has a bulletin board in the town center where everyone can just post things on.
In video games, they
that's
do.
Totally historic. Right, that's my point. That's totally historically accurate, obviously. That's why they put it in games.
Well, just look for some, like, it's gotta be like something posted, like, you know, help wanted. Something.
So how are you trying to get this info, though? Are you just going to look around town and hope someone has a posting, or are you asking someone in particular? What is your method of collection?
Well, if I don't see, I'd probably look to see if there's like a posting anywhere first, because just to see, and then if I can't find anything on that, I guess I'd go to a local doctor because they might know something.
Okay. Roll a charm.
Standard difficulty.
Yep. For how well you converse with the person.
3 failures.
Nope.
Yeah, my charm is garbage.
You find a doctor, but he is ostentatious and is not very thrilled about you trying to swindle work from him. So he, in no uncertain terms, drives you out and tells you not to come back.
Can I try deceiving him on, like, if I get this higher position, I could recommend you?
That many failures, it would take something drastic to get a change.
Okay. Then I'll go to the next doctor.
Okay, you can keep it up, but you're going to start accumulating setback dice.
Well, then I don't know what to do.
Because as you keep doing it, the message gets around eventually, hence the setback dice. You can go for it if you want. I was just making sure you're aware how it would work.
Can I go talk to Hayu and ask his family about, like, hey, do you know anything about there might be in a position? Like, I'll go talk to Hayu about it first and, like, tell him that if his family might know of, like, a doctor's position in one of the one of the cities.
You would think most places would be hiring doctors just
or
before war.
A higher position.
Okay, let's have Hayu. You can make a roll for if you know anyone or have any connection to that.
I think probably.
So, you know
Looking
that there
likely.
is an old doctor here in the city who takes on apprentices. not necessarily apprentices, but uses people to help him out because he's older and needs younger people to be his hands, essentially. So he's willing to take people along to essentially be his hands. And you know that based on the skirmishes, she could probably find some work in either the merchant town or one of the 3 conflict towns. Based on the fact that there has been skirmishes, they probably still could use some medical assistance treating the injuries. And of course, there's the option of trying to track down the bandits, because I'm sure they wouldn't mind taking a hostage who's a doctor and forcing them to treat their wounds.
Okay,
Just make sure you kowtow 7 times and call him Sifu.
maybe I'll accompany Gyang to the merchant.
Okay. So, which do we want to start with first? The regional fortress, the merchant city, or the light infantry city?
Can flip a coin for it.
I was giving you guys a chance to pick if you guys want.
I mean, I'm fine if you want to start with me and Hellier.
You know, could start with Yaoi and Hayu since it's Hayu's family.
Yeah, so they can take it away. So you guys are able to get to the regional fortress. How do you seek entry, and how do you go about trying to locate the people?
Well, considering where it is and what it is, I have no problem using my name. And so I would gladly use my family plaque that shows me as the heir to the Zhuge family. And I would ask for a meeting with, let me think here, which one would be the best place to start? I guess I don't really have like a ranking knowledge of them, just that they were aides. Oh, there we go. This is the perfect way in. I would show my plaque, and I would mention that I'm here to pay respects to Juju, who had been a great leader for so long, and I was gone when he passed. And so, of course, I would want to talk to his assistants, who were closest to him.
Okay. Roll a charm. How charismatic are you in talking to them?
Well, on the stat block, I'm really charismatic. Let's see what actually happens.
And you get a boost using your connection and saying you're here for respect, because those are valid points that would give you a boost. You barely succeed, but you succeed. So yeah, they let you in and direct you to where the memorial tablet is set up.
I'll light incense and do my bows.
Okay.
Is there anyone immediately in the room with me, or was it just me and Yahweh that were sent in here?
But there's the caretaker monk who's there.
Okay, so basically the person that helps you make sure the incense gets lit. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Did they say anything about the assistance I asked about? Or did they just
What
leave me
was it?
here and leave? Because I had mentioned that I wanted to pay respects as well as like to talk to his assistant slash
Oh, his aides or assistants. Yeah.
because of course I'd
Um,
also want to talk to the people that were closest to him because that's part of how you pay respects.
Right. They said that you can go and request meeting of them on your own. They have no authorization to grant that.
Gotcha, but they'll let me into the building.
They'll let you into the fortress, which is almost like a small town, right?
Yeah.
There's the whole
Multiple
courtyards
buildings,
and everything. Kind of family manor, right? Fortification sort of thing. So
Yeah.
they let you in and direct you where his memorial tablet is and stuff. And then to get in and talk to the others is on you and up to you to handle.
Got you. Is it obvious which building would be like the building to go to, or is it something I'm going to have to investigate?
There's a large one that has Juju currently marked on it as the regional leader's abode. It's obviously the nicest one. And then there's 6 other small manors that have the 6 aides' names on them.
Alrighty. Well, Galway, are you going to do your bows? You're just going to disrespect
Of
the old
course.
man?
No, I'm not gonna disrespect. I'm gonna do my vows and light the incense and just do what I'm supposed to do. At Hayu's direction because I'm his employee right now.
I'm starting to feel like a Yakuza here. Need to get me some tattoos.
There you go. Sure you get a bear tattoo.
I was going to go with Hello Kitty, but all right.
We got to get your brother tattooed on you, right?
Alrighty. Well, I don't really have any information to tell me which person to start with, so let's just go with the closest building. Go knock on the door or talk to the guard if it has one.
They're fairly equidistant. So it's kind of more, is there one that you want to go to particularly or one you want to avoid particularly?
From what I can tell, I have no personal connection to any of them, so no, I don't really know which one to talk to first. So just any of them.
I mean, there are some linking family names between the aides and the cities, but you'd never had
I mean, ideally, I'd want to eventually talk
direct
to all of
contact
them.
with them?
So
I mean, you may have had contact with them when they were, young kids, so 5
there
to
might
10.
at least be a somewhat of a
But-
connection.
Yes, but that would be like when you're 5 to 10. Once you hit above that, they would have been sent off here for showing prominent abilities and interest in regional affairs, and were taken in to be his aides and do work for him. So you may have met them when they were younger, but no recent interactions. So at least for 5 years, you've not had interactions with any of them.
Alrighty. Well, I mean, I've been away at school for close to a year now, so I feel like that's fair. Anyways, yeah, well, let's go to Legi first. I'm not sure if I'm saying that last name right, but I'll give it my best. Legibo.
Mm-hmm. What is it you want to talk to Gibo about?
Well, first I want to see if they'll meet me. So obviously I go up and
Yep.
request a visit, however you want to put it.
Yeah. We'll have you roll your charisma checks on them to see if you are flattering enough to have them answer you.
Charm or just flat presence?
Yeah,
roll?
charm.
Okay.
No, he is not currently available. Them's the dice, chat. One failure, one advantage.
Yeah, it could have been worse.
Yep.
Alrighty, well, I bow to the servant politely, not deeply, and move on.
Okay. Who's next?
I guess me and Matt can go.
Okay.
Oh, I was going to go to the next person if you want, but we can also move to another person and then come back. I don't mind.
Yeah, we can do that. You can think about if there's any
I
particular
wasn't
order you
out,
want to
so
go
I
in or
wasn't
what.
sure if you were done or not.
I'm not picky. Feel free.
Okay, so Emiko. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You going with Gian?
Yeah, I'm currently traveling with Gyeong to the merchant city.
Anything you say or do on the way there? Like tell him you killed the guy's son and are responsible for the conflict?
No, I don't think that conversation comes up. I mean, on the way there, Emiko is probably going to be quiet unless Gyeong speaks to her.
I mean, Gyeong will talk, but if it depends how Emiko looks at him. If Emiko's like, "Can you please shut up?" with her eyes, then he understands her now way more, and he will just shut up. If you give him the eyes, like no,
Just like,
otherwise he'll just be chatty, but he's not trying to.
I wouldn't say Emiko is giving you the eyes, the death stare. She probably is like not even really listening, just walking. And she's probably a bit like distracted in her just in her own head. So yeah, she probably isn't even noticing that you're rambling.
Right.
But like, what exactly is Gyeong saying?
Let me quickly roll a d6 here. Give me a second. D6. Okay, and then let's have a look at the chat. It's going to be 1, 2. So, he starts talking about some story that he's heard from merchants or whatever, from just randomly, and it's totally crazy. It's totally crazy. It makes no sense whatsoever. It's like, a fairy tale mixed with a, it just it's just weird. But there's one point in the story, and you recognize it because there might be something that Galway has told you about, like very personal to him, that nobody else in the party, or especially Giyang, should know. But like what he's saying is very similar to whatever Galway might have like said to you that Giyang shouldn't know about. I don't know what it is, but it's just and he's just like, how do you know this? But it's in the context of a really unbelievable like story.
I'm just gonna like kind of like when that part comes up, she'll kind of like snap out of her daze and be like, and just kind of look at you like, have you ever thought that there might be some truth to those stories?
What do you mean?
How do you think stories are made? They all have some truth to them.
Yes, but isn't it fantastic? It's so like it's a great story. Like it yeah, sure, it's probably.
Where do you hear all these stories?
Well, you know.
No, I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Drunken
You have a
sailors.
feeling that it's probably not one story. It's probably just this bastardized mix of things that he's picked up along the way.
Also, like, why
Took
are
the
they,
stories
like,
from like
so
6
everywhere?
to 10 drunken sailors and merged them into one.
I'm pretty sure you just told me like 10 stories all together, right there.
Yeah, but didn't you like the part where, and he says specifically like the same part that you recognize as Galway's like whatever secret thing?
It's something about Gyawei's past before he came to the academy. Something you've not heard him mention since he had his
Oh yeah.
Accident. All right.
Didn't you like the part?
What would I?
I assume I'm not.
What would
you're
it
not
be
there. You're not there.
specifically?
I rolled a d6 to see if it would be any of our characters or not, and it happened to be Galway.
Well, what would it be specifically? If don't have the answer now, can just later.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's more just adding to what we understand about Giyang and how he learns information and how he just is too innocent to realize that there might actually be something that could hurt someone or like reveal something that someone doesn't want anyone to know. But he just has no concept of it. That's
Here's
just
what it
part
is,
of his
puppy.
character. We're revealing something about Giyang.
mentioned when Gyawei had a falling out in a conflict with some bandits. It's the bandit group that actually your family utilized to help get you in to deal with Juju's child. And so you know this bandit group. They're not a pleasant group. So if it gets known what he's saying, he becomes a target, but Gyawei also becomes a target. And possibly anyone associated with it.
So, these stories might have some truths to them, and you could be putting some lives in danger. Ever thought of that?
So people just believe whatever? It's just a story. You'll take it on. Like when you say that someone could be at risk, like he'll be like, okay, well, I can not talk about it.
Well, I figured like if I'm gonna get Kyung to understand anything, if I just mention that people's lives could be in danger.
Oh yeah, he'll pay attention. He's like, how? But okay.
You tell him about
And
the
then-
the bandit group that he mentioned is in the area, and they're very bad group to get associated with or mention.
I will mention about Giawe and the bandits. Not anything that I was involved with bandits. And that it could that sounds pretty similar to what you're saying in your story, and I just remember being before Giawe, forgot everything. I remember him mentioning something like that. And it could jeopardize his life and put him in danger. And you could also be in danger by, spitting out the story.
Okay, so Gian hears you, and he will stop talking. He's just like, okay, I stopped talking.
You don't need to stop. And she thinks a minute. Wait a second. This might be a good thing that he's not talking anymore.
Right.
Just maybe be careful on what you talk about with your stories, because there might be some truth to them, and it could put lives at risk.
Okay, me not want to hurt anyone.
Put my hand on your shoulder like, I know. You're too innocent for this world.
That's a nice way of putting it, Emiko. That's very nice.
Emiko actually tried to be nice here.
Oh yeah, I noticed.
So,
Not wrong.
believe it or not, I don't want to see anyone in the group get hurt.
Yeah. Well, that is. He appreciates it. He appreciates you pointing it out, and he'll just, not talk about it for the rest of the trip.
And then Emiko's just like, that was hard.
Why is it so hard to be nice?
Well, sometimes talking, you be specific with what you say with Gyung. Sometimes it feels like I'm talking to a child. But, if you point out that people's lives could be in risk, Emiko has noticed that seems to get the point across. Maybe I should have used that with the fish oil incident.
Oh yeah. Fish oil incident.
Yeah, it has to be called an incident.
Yeah, so and continue on our way, and
Yes.
Okay. So you get to the merchant city. Luanyi.
So
does it
yeah,
choose?
we're looking for information. So we would go to the inn, I'm guessing. Go to where people, the merchant people gather, or maybe a marketplace. Could we have
Merchants.
traveled by boat to get here, or what's our method?
You could have gone by a small boat via river for some of it, or most of it, anyways. Or you could have taken a carriage. It's kind of up to you which way you guys took.
I mean, if Guion can take his boat, he'll take his boat. But if it's too big for where we're going...
His boat would have gotten left back because it wasn't deep sea worthy, because you had a river boat, you said. And you guys traveled up through the ocean.
Oh. Okay. Just whatever is quickest then. We want to be efficient.
So, yeah, you guys get there. Both the markets and the restaurants, inns, would be places you could find people of the sort you're looking for. Which do you choose, and how do you choose to go about it?
Well, we haven't got anything to trade, so yeah, I'd go to the marketplace. See what there is around. See what he can buy. You know,
This is the city you guys came in on, and then went to Hayu's city from there.
Okay.
Because it's the major port city. There is a whole bunch of imports and exports here. So there's goods from all over again. There's stuff from your home. There's stuff from across the sea. This is one of the largest selections of goods that Giang has ever seen.
Right.
Like, the variety is enormous.
Okay, so Puppy, have you seen K-pop Demon Hunters?
Yeah.
You know the part where popcorn comes out of the girl's eyes when she sees the man?
Yeah.
So popcorn is coming out of Guillaume's eyes as he sees just this array of goods everywhere. He's just like, stars are shining. There's like, he just like, oh!
Guillaume, you good? You're drooling.
This is and he like goes off on some tangent about how rare like this particular like good is, the whatever the stall is that is particular. Oh, and over here is like this. He doesn't answer your question. He looks very happy.
You don't hang out in big cities, do you?
No? I've been to them to gather things like this before and take them to places where they can't get them normally.
Okay, but just remember what we're here to do.
Oh yeah.
Listen, we can sightsee later after the war is taken care of. And I will say that in a hushed tone.
So he is going to spend all but 50 of his money while we are going around. So he's going to spend 250 of his money. And essentially, he's going to be getting goods from various stores that aren't like super rare, but are things that people where he has been, like the academy and the town nearby that we've been through like 6 times now, would be looking for. He spends 250 of his money getting those things while he's asking the merchants that he's purchasing stuff from all of these questions about, I don't know, like how, you know, about the way that trade happens here and what would be most beneficial for the traders as far as rulership, and like starting to lean into getting these questions about the representatives of these families and what would benefit the traders most and stuff like that. So he asks those questions, but he does spend money, 250 of it.
Emiko would like, oh, could you ask about doctor's position?
All right, he will do that too. What is gathering information? What's
The way you're doing it, probably a charismatic variant, so charm. As
Charm?
You are. Yeah. And since you're actually, because you're talking with them, you're schmoozing them up. But because you're doing it with actually being a customer on top of it, throw in a boost for yourself.
Okay.
Because, merchants' money's talk.
And the difficulty?
Yeah, and
Standard.
I can do my best to help.
The cold-blooded assassin staring down the guy.
Are you aiding then? Because that would give.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Imagine it would just be the same thing. Not sure how well I'd help, but I just need one. I just need
A couple
one.
of threats, but we get 4 successes. Oh.
I got 2 failures.
Yeah, so that'll cancel
And an
out.
advantage.
Maybe it'll be 2
Okay.
successes and one threat instead because of your.
Yeah, I got an advantage for you.
What are the questions Gyang asks in kind of like what order? So I can give you the information in the order that you ask it.
So it's lead-in questions about like how trade is. That leads into like hearing about how there's these people that could come into governorship, and about how that leads into how the traders would benefit from each of these governors, what the traders are thinking would be the most beneficial
so-
for them.
The traders aren't too concerned about who takes over as long as it's not the guy from the capital, and they're not certain that the guy from the Bingen city would be a good option either.
Which
But
city?
anyone who allows trade to flow and doesn't hamper it and doesn't take large amounts of taxes off the trading, they're happy with. They're not too thrilled about the current conflict because sure, weapon merchants and food merchants are doing okay, but the threat has increased, so the profit margins have decreased, and some of the more exotic or rare goods that take longer trips to get from other areas, their values have kind of gone down, so they're having to kind of redefine their work, which is complicated things.
Okay. So you mentioned that they didn't like the guy from the capital, and you said something about another city, but I didn't catch the word.
Yeah, so it's the city's name is what I said, but they're not sure how well he would do because he's tied to the family, the Cow family, KAO, and they're not sure that because he's part of their family if he would be non-biased or if he would be biased towards their industries and goods. So they don't want to have biased dealings because that threatens their money.
Yeah.
And for some reason, most merchants care about money.
Part. Okay. None of them seem to really know any of these representatives in person,
Oh.
do they? Like they're talking in general.
Do you ask them if they've met them?
Yes.
Yes, they have. In fact, Zhou, the guy from the capital, Zou is the family name. Hu is the guy's given name. The guy from the capital who's being put forward as a candidate has been known to skim off the top and require extra.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so Gyang would empathize with the traders. He would essentially join them in stating that that type of behavior is not fitting for a governor. And yeah, he would feed that information back to Emiko. My guess, what I'm thinking, Emiko, is that we are in the same marketplace, but not necessarily right next to each other, if that's okay with you, and that we've decided to flag a time that we would get and a place to get back together, maybe like noon at the tavern or something, to feed our information back to each other or something like that. So that way I have the information from the traders and you can have information from whoever you talk to about doctoring. Given we got successes too, has Gyang picked up anything about doctoring to help Emiko with her side of things?
There's a number of families here that have returned from their trips who are looking for, who are open to have medical people come in and heal either their family members or guards or mercenaries that were injured on the trip due to either squabbles between the three cities or because of bandits.
Gotcha. All right.
You know, collateral damage sort of fun.
Then that is what Gyang does, and I will turn the spotlight either to Emiko or somebody else if...
Yep. I think I'm going to look around and try to see if I can see any weaknesses.
I mean, yes and no. The city is decently guarded, meaning patrolled, but it doesn't have as much walls as the other places.
And I think I will kind of start looking at the into the patrol route and observing that.
So there's multiple patrol routes, and you find out that some of them are overlapping. So you would have at most 5 minutes to do something before you'd probably be seen by one, if not more, roving groups.
Yeah, I'd probably be
Trolls.
acting like I'm shopping.
But you're able to determine at best you'd have 5 minutes.
Okay.
Which, that doesn't exactly give you a very big window to get much of anything done. It basically means you may be able to get away if you know you've been detected.
Yes.
You might be able to get away.
Do I see anywhere I can be without them seeing me, where I can just like kind of hide out and just watch from there.
Well, I mean, they're not like staring at everyone in the inns, so you could probably stay in like the second floor, get a restaurant seat essentially and eat and watch. As long as you're not doing anything too crazy, probably wouldn't be too noticeable, but if you do any actions, you'd get found pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So are you just trying to maintain watching them or what?
Yeah, just kind of, I want to like watch them, but I don't want them to see me watching them.
Yeah, so that's what you'd be able to find out by watching them, is that the patrol groups are fairly regular.
Yeah, and while sitting down in the inn, I'd probably also listen to see if there's any gossip and about war stuff and the people that are in charge of this area.
Just the preliminary, yeah, you would hear similar to what's been said. Bandits have been ramping up activity, causing issues with transportation of goods. There's some collateral damage that's been caused on some of the caravans due to the three cities having their patrols and groups clash over supplies and whatnot. They're wanting to get a good regional leader and this to stop being a problem. If it wasn't for Jew's kid being killed and him not having an heir, then it probably wouldn't be a problem.
And is there anyone like, well, as I'm like, watching and eating, is anyone like injured? Because I want to like show off my skills to be able to get noticed easier that way.
Okay, well, Young did mention, was able to find out that there are families that, the merchant families that have caravans are willing to hire people.
But we haven't spoken yet, so that's just what Emiko would be doing.
Okay. Most of the ones that would be injured enough wouldn't be coming here. If they're still injured, they've been treated.
Mm-hmm.
You don't tend to go out to eat when you need to see a doctor.
Well, I mean, like, if anyone's choking on their food.
Not at this hour.
No one chooses when to choke on their food.
True.
All right, then I'd probably just wait until to meet up with Gyang.
Okay, so yeah, you guys are able to meet up and share the info. Zengetsu. Pop over to you here. You're heading to the infantry city. What is it you do to get there, and what do you do when you get there?
I guess I'd probably see if I can like hire on with a caravan or something where I could do work to get there, and maybe even get paid to get there.
Okay.
Look around like the edge of the city where we are, for along the road that leads that way, and look for work. Something along those lines.
Okay. Yeah, you might be able to find one. It would be negligible how much money you'd make, since you'd also need to pay for some things, but yeah, you could probably travel with some people to get there.
Okay. And then when I get there, I'll listen and I'll pay attention to what people say. But I'll try and remain fairly unobtrusive or invisible for the most part. And just listen. And hopefully people will talk and not even pay attention to the fact that I'm there.
Okay.
And then when we get there, I want to look around for, does the city look particularly clean or particularly dirty? Would I stand out if my clothes are clean, or would I stand out more if my clothes are filthy? You know, whatever's going to
Not
make me
really.
blend in.
It's not particularly clean or dirty.
Okay.
It's kind of in between.
Okay, that's ideal anyway. That's fine. And then I will. I'll probably just ask around amongst the people when we get close, and the people maybe near the edge of the town when we get there, where I could hire on as a mercenary or something, and just ask people. See what kind of answers
Let's
I get.
have you roll. Let's see. What's a good presence? It'd probably be a presence check. You're bearing presence or cool? Cool is presence. Yeah, let's have you do a cool check for kind of how you carry yourself when asking to determine
Difficulty?
who and where they sent you. Standard. Whoa! Success by 3. Wow. They inform you that there's a number of people who are potentially willing to hire some mercenaries to do some work. However, if you want to have the best, you probably could go to the Ba family. Since they're the head of the city, they're kind of in charge of most of the dealings around. Or you could just go sign up with one of the mercenary groups that have been hired by them, who a lot of times are going out on patrols to round up food and that would be another way you could go about it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably try and head for the mercenary companies that are working directly for the family. And
Okay.
Just start. I'll just do what I'm told, keep my head down, but like when I'm told to do something that I can excel at, I will.
Okay.
People around me, if we're like in training or doing something, and I will heal them. But I'll be very, like nonchalant about it and be like, don't mention it.
Okay. Think of a good mercenary unit name or a few of them for Asiatic setting, and we'll have one of those be the one you join and some of the others be other ones that are around. And I'll give you some time to do that while we deal with some of the others, and we'll come right back and get you into one of those.
Okay. Sounds good.
Cool. Hi-oh. You wanted to check with the others. I saw you sent a message about it.
Yeah, no, I sent a message about the order of people I would approach.
Yeah. And my computer doesn't want to let me open Discord to read your message. Because why would it be nice when it doesn't have to be, apparently? Oh, there it goes. It finally decided to respond. Gotta love it. Okay. So you can do you get to the first one on your list, and you knock, and the guy who's the guard, actually, you recognize him. He actually was one of the guys who's known for being decently skilled in martial arts at your home city.
Alrighty.
So he actually
My hometown hero?
recognizes you.
I said my hometown hero.
Basically, yeah. Maybe not your hero, but he is
It was a
known.
song reference.
No, I got it. But yeah, so he recognizes you and would allow you in to see Bakui. What would you want to ask him?
Well, first, I would just be generally friendly. Like, hey, man, long time no see. I didn't realize you'd gotten to such a great position here. That's awesome. Maybe even tell him a little bit about my schooling, the school I'm going to, if he seems interested, obviously.
Yeah, he'll say that he heard that you got sent off to the academy. He heard that from his dad last time he was back at the city. He was curious how it was going for you.
Yeah, no, I'll gladly BS with him for a bit. About just, bygones and stuff like that. I will probably bring up his master's passing as like a, I'm sorry to hear that. I remember when we were kids kind of thing.
So this is the city lord's son of the city you grew up in. And you both were in scholar school together before he was sent off here to work with Jew. So you actually know him a little more. You'd forgotten because, life and paths separate. And it's been, 7 years? And he was a few years older than you. But
Yeah.
you had seen him kind of, the upperclassmen in your school sort of thing. And since you both went to scholar school, your family has a fairly prominent presence there. You would recognize you and your family, and of course, since he's the city lord's son, you kind of would recognize his family for some reason.
Right? Couldn't imagine.
So yeah.
So yeah, once we get past the basic BS and
Proper social pleasantries.
yeah, that stuff. I would be like, what's going on here, man? Things have gotten crazy since I left. Like,
So he will tell you about Juju's child being killed and how it kind of just wrecked him a bit, and his health kind of wasn't great from there. But he held on for quite a few years after that, and this year, of course, he's passed away, and now he hadn't designated an heir, and so now there's this lovely regional conflict of who should be taking over. And of course, some hot-blooded city decide that, strength of arms is a lot better way of dealing with it than, other intelligent ways of doing things. He thinks it's kind of funny that one of the aides is using a family connection as a means to try to get appointed as regional leader, even though he's not the only one that has family connections.
yeah, no, I'd imagine most do.
So he would mention to you just in case you didn't know, he would tell you that, of course, he is connected to City Lord. However, he's not the only one that is a nephew or child of a City Lord. The first person you went to talk to, Lee, is actually one, and his uncle is the City Lord of the place that has the heavy infantry. And of course, Cow is the City Lord of the heavy cavalry, and that's the one who's trying to put him in place.
Yeah, his own son.
Yep, and he mentions that himself and Joy are, their families are neutral and not in the conflicts at all. And then, of course, there's a few others who came from outside the region, but were fairly renowned scholars who have their families aren't from this region, but they're still, good families in other regions.
Yeah. That's certainly more than I knew before.
Yep, so 4 of the 6... Right? Yeah, 4 of the 6 are related to big families here in the
around
region.
The area. Yeah.
Yeah. And 2 of the 6 are from families outside the region.
Yeah, that's actually
And he really
how
thinks
I chose
it's
my order.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
He really thinks it's insulting and rude to consider a capital city low-level person to come out and take over a region.
Yeah.
Especially one that has rumors of bribes and corruption.
I can't imagine. The audacity.
Yeah,
That's the
well,
correct
that's what.
response, right?
Right. He's like, well, that's what the lovely City Lord Ba wants to have done. It's probably some sort of his sister's married to him or married to his cousin or something, and wants to use him as a puppet to get his way and get power in the region.
Yep. Yep.
I'm not surprised Master didn't take anyone from Yangdon. It's not exactly known for having prominent families who are very upstanding.
It seems to be a common issue.
You can tell he's being a little more forthright with you than he probably would be with other people, given that you're from the same city.
Yeah, yeah.
You may not be from the same family, but you're at least from the same city, and your families are on good terms.
Yeah, I was going to say, from everything I could find out, it didn't seem like he supported any of the people against us. And that was why I came to him first, because it seemed like he would be the most candid. Yeah, that's the word I'm thinking of.
Since it has a connection to your hometown, it kind of helps. So yeah. Any other questions you want to ask him?
I would ask him about what he knows about the third town, the heavy infantry and crossbowman town that hasn't been supporting anyone specific. It still seems to be gearing up to be a part of the war.
Lee's always been a little hot-headed. And you have to remember, he's in between the other two cities, right? So if the other two go to war over things, they're going to be trampling through his territory either way. And so it's not too surprising that he's not thrilled about that and would raise up arms.
Do you think he's mostly defensive?
I don't know. He's never been a very calm, sociable player. I mean, he took over the city by, I don't know if you remember, but we learned it in school. He took over the city by rising up and building up a force. And he took the city over by force and purged the previous family who's in charge. So, that family's gone from the region, and has held the city very forcefully since. There's plenty of people who say he's an iron tyrant, but he's not exactly evil, but he's hot-headed. He has a bit of a temper. So it wouldn't be surprised if, someone threatened him, and so now he's going to go to war and beat them up until he feels done with it.
Great. Seems like my kind of guy.
I mean, I'm sure you've met some like that where once they get riled up, it's not like just talking to them is going to make them, be happy and stand down. They're going to go ahead and go to blows until they feel they're put enough blows in, at least.
Yeah. No, can't go down without a fight, right?
Right. You gotta draw blood.
Well, I can certainly understand that logic. Well, my family's in a bit of a rock and a hard place. You may have heard,
Yeah.
but
I got a letter from my dad about that.
oh, well, that's good news. Then we're getting some support. But if you hear anything new about the movements of these three major cities, it'd be really helpful to my family. We're still not sure what to expect.
Probably the two of them are going to keep their word and consider our city an enemy city if your family doesn't choose one of them. Not that necessarily that's a reason to choose one of them, but problem is if you choose one of the two of them, then you're kind of telling, Hothead Lee that you're willing to help out against him. That's not necessarily something we want to do either. But as long as you guys don't side with, the Ba family, I won't have a big issue with you. So it's kind of tricky because you don't really want to side with any of them, but you can't necessarily not side with anyone.
I mean, what do you think the chances are of getting them all to agree to a third option for a regional leader?
What would you suggest?
Yeah, that's kind of the issue, isn't it?
I mean, 4 of the 6 of us are connected to cities, so that's going to kind of put a little bit of,
a personal
questions there and personal, which I mean, you know me, I've never been biased towards, interest like that, but doesn't mean that people would see it that way. They would always be in question, right?
Is there anyone experienced that isn't currently active? Like someone that stepped away or showed skill but never actually joined the government?
Well, I mean,
Someone
if
who would
we
be
were,
like a
if we were
completely
trying to
neutral
appoint
party?
someone who would be the least problematic for the region.
Yeah, that's
We
kind of
would
how I'm thinking.
probably need to look at Sue or Fu, because they're not from the region, right? They don't have family in the region. Yet they still were Jews' aides and had to do some of the work, so they at least are familiar with some of it. So they would probably be the two least controversial members to take over regional authority. At the same time, they really don't have any standing in the region because they don't have family in the region. So they also kind of have the weakest position to be able to take a regional, leadership, regional governor position. So it's a tricky one.
Oh man, yeah. No, I think we're gonna need a lot more information. But if you're willing to help me, I'd like to try to stop this completely and find a third option or fourth option, I guess.
Well, if you can think of a good third or fourth option and how to make it happen, I'm open to trying to back it.
That would be much appreciated. Yeah, at this point, I sadly don't know, but I'll pass it by you first before I try to push anyone.
Most of us 6 aides are on fairly decent terms with each other, because we all had to, work together. We're all kind of his apprentices. So if we need to get them pulled together for anything, let me know and I'll try to put in a word to get them all to show up.
That would be excellent. At this point, I don't really have anything specific to say to everyone at once. I am going to go talk to them each individually and get their opinions as well. But I had to talk to you first because I value your opinion the most.
I appreciate that. Keep in mind, last I knew, Cow was out of town. He's not here. And if the others don't see you, don't think it's they're against you. They were still trying to keep the region together and working. Even though there's not currently a regional governor, doesn't mean that the region can get away with not sending things to the capital if we fail to do so. That means we're calling in the, capital troops to intercede on the capital's interest, and that would
correct the issue.
That would not be conducive to the region.
No, I don't think that would be helpful to any of us. They tend to look down on most ruling families when they have to step in.
Yeah, and they tend to take extra when they show up too. Typically, at least double, probably more likely triple or more.
Right. I mean, moving troops is expensive.
Make a point.
It's only fair.
Yeah, that's why you need to pay 4 times the amount of the cost of the troop movements on top of 4 times the amount of the amount you're supposed to send in. It calculates out reasonably. I'm sure there's
totally
no scam.
fair.
Yeah. And that's one of the things we're worried about because Zhao used to be involved in some of that. So, good luck with it.
Much appreciated. And I'll politely bow and take my leave.
Okay.
And we can move on to the next players so that they get a chance to before the night's over.
So there's 4 others.
Yeah, no, I just just in case any other player wanted to take part since it's
I was
almost
going
9.
to try to summarize some so we don't spend
I see what you're saying. I'm
another
sorry.
hour on
The conversations.
talking to every single one like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see who's available and who's not.
He seemed like the most important one after I did that little bit of research.
What
To
happened?
talk to first.
So, Choi is currently unavailable. He's busy. Tsu is there and is welcoming and talks to you. He has similar views to what Bao said about the region, but he's more reserved. He doesn't have family here, so he's not as open. He's not rude to you, but he's not inviting.
He's
Right.
not friendly about it. He's just professional.
Well, yeah, he's professional. He's polite and professional. He doesn't know you. He knows your family name, so he's being polite and giving you face because you're a prominent family in the region.
I haven't done
But-
anything to piss him off yet.
Right. But he has no reason to be friends with you right now either, right?
Yeah.
But he shares similar viewpoints to the fact that he's not thrilled that Zoo is coming here trying to, worm his way in, and he doesn't think it's right that cows, using force. He doesn't think the region really needs a war when that is not good for stability or profits of the region.
Gotcha. So he's more logical about the whole thing.
Yeah. Sue is very logical about the circumstances. Bao is also not from the region, so he has no family backing. He similarly is polite and professional. He's never met you, doesn't know you, he's not from the region, and answers your questions. Doesn't really go into depth at all whether he's for or against anyone. He answers pure factually to everything.
My kind of guy.
Just facts. So you have, well, what do you think about, I don't. I would need data to answer you. Sort of stuff, right? Very...
Yeah.
And then, as I mentioned, Cow is out, and so Lee mentions that he doesn't know if it would be good to have someone from outside the region take over, but he thinks that his uncle has the right of it, that it should be the family leaders of the region, the notable families,
Yeah.
cast votes and have a vote saying who should be the regional. So they should, have a meeting and, cast votes.
Yeah.
Appoint candidates and then cast votes on who's the regional governor.
I would tell him that.
But since people
I
don't
think
want to
that seems
listen,
like a great idea.
slapping people around by force is good too.
Minus
so
that part,
he
but I'm
seems
not going
to-
to say that.
Yeah, he seems to support his uncle.
Gotcha. See, there's so much about his uncle's idea that's reasonable until
Right? We should just have a meeting and vote. But since you don't want to listen, I'm going to
everyone
beat
should
you
get
into
a
doing
say.
it my way.
But since you don't want to say, we'll just do it my way. Yeah. No, that's
Yeah. So it sounds like what the other thing you get from Lee here is that if his father or his uncle wins, the two other cities probably will have no say in the votes, and the three who are neutral will get a vote, and his city will get basically 2 votes. Because, the winner's prestige sort of thing.
yeah. No, only fair.
Yeah. So the Li, the Hu, and the Zhu, and the Kai, and the Yang family, and the Zhao family from the city would get 2 votes apiece on who would be regional leader. And then the major families from the other 3 cities who were neutral would all get 1 vote.
Yeah.
And the other 2 cities would have 0 votes. And he thinks that's a great idea. So he looks forward to his uncle putting the other 2 down so that stability can return to the region. If black wasn't the common hair color in Asian culture, you would think that these guys would have red hair. So yeah, that's what you're able to find. Zengetsu. So those are the 3 mercenary companies that are working for the city and probably for the Ba family. Is there one that you go to out of them, or?
I would probably just by nature of the name start with the 100 Folded Blades, and then probably the Jade Moon Brigade, and then on the 5 Mountain Vanguard. See who would hire me.
Okay, you said you'd start with the 100 Fold?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's have you roll a negotiation. We negotiate, negotiation or charm. Because my guess is you probably aren't going to try to be deceptive or coercive to them.
No, not.
So the 100 Fold says they're currently full and don't need additional troops.
Okay, then on to the Jade Moon.
They said they could use some new blood. As long as you're okay with taking orders and doing what needs to be done. They said they tried to avoid doing some of the brigands' work, but, sometimes the city lord makes you do things that you gotta do. So as long as you're good with that, you can sign on.
I'll sign on.
Okay. So you get a token showing that you are a member of the Jade Moon Brigade. It's a wood token with their symbol, basically saying you're an entry-level grunt.
Okay.
And they tell you that in a day they're going to be heading out on a mission. So go ahead and get some rest, get your gear checked, and be ready to march.
I'll do exactly what I'm told.
Okay. As we're getting to that time, is there anything else for any of you? Or are you kind of happy with the info you got? Is there anything else you want?
I'm good.
I guess since Kyung gave him a code, the news about the doctors and stuff, could probably go look up on that. She'd probably want to tend to the more so like maybe the soldiers.
Okay. So the soldiers would be private family soldiers. Is there a certain one you'd look for, or just any of them?
I guess I don't know if there's different ranks of soldiers.
Well, yes and no. They're not city soldiers, and that's something you noticed with their patrols. They all are labeled differently. They all have a family marking, and they all have different outfits and equipment. So they are family soldiers that govern the town.
Okay.
And so
Well,
there is.
I think I'd start at the top and then work my way down.
Okay. So let me get this here. There is. Let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different families in town who basically oversee different aspects of trade. Basically, weapons and armor, food, luxury goods, stuff like that. They all have their own private army.
Okay.
And they all have an agreement to take care of a city. So it's almost like the city's broken up into like gang plots, but they're not gangs. They're the families, and their guards patrol their areas.
Mm-hmm.
And there is some overlap, and they work together. They're not against each other because they're all in it for profit. They're all merchants. So these are the 8 large merchant families of the city, and they all govern and control everything in the city. And so any one of those 8 would probably have people who were injured doing, guard duty out on their caravans because the uptake in activity. So I didn't know if you're looking for a particular one or just random find somebody that's medical.
Yeah, I'd probably start at the top and just work my way down.
Okay. So you're just looking for basically more just a random one, not anything in particular.
Yeah, I'm kind of like failing at trying to figure out what entirely I want to look for. So
it's okay. I'm trying to make sure, because I don't want to misunderstand what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
I know you don't have all the details because Emiko doesn't have all the details, right? And so I didn't know if Emiko's trying to, saddle up to the family that does,
Mm-hmm.
herbs
I think
and
she's
medical
trying to get her.
supplies.
I think she's trying to get her foot in the door. If she gets her foot in the door, and she gets more known as a doctor and stuff, that's what she wants to do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you'd be able to do that, and all the families have differing amounts of injuries due to pirates and bandits. So yeah, they would use your skills and let you do some work to help take care of the injuries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'll probably do the basic questions on how this wound was acquired, because need to know that when you're treating a wound. It's good to know that stuff.
Yeah, we got ambushed by bandits. They're trying to take the stuff, and you're hired to keep the merchant safe, and so too many of them, and I got cut.
Well,
is it normal for it to have this weird color to it, and when you push it, has this weird white stuff squirt out?
No.
Well, that's why it hurts so much.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Don't worry. I'll patch you up. Good as new. And just trying to get her foot in the door so she can get more well known, and perhaps more people of more higher standing will hear of her.
Go ahead and roll a medicine check, and we'll see how you do for your efforts in Eating the injuries.
Eating the injury, yes. Failure. But 2 advantages.
You're able to help some, but you don't get noticed as doing well.
Yeah. What's the point of rank 2?
Better chances for better points.
Clearly not.
Right. So, in preparation for next week, since we're getting towards that time, is there any other questions that you guys have, or do you need to think about how you want to try to come up with a stop the fight thing?
I got
think
nothing.
we got through all your questions, but I may have forgotten one or something, so that's why I'm asking.
So I'll probably, within the mercenary company, just try and listen to all the rumors and the scuttlebutt and see what people are saying, and just gather as much information as I can that way, while also simultaneously maybe trying to stand out in as far as capability in martial prowess and get possibly closer to the house itself.
So the villagers, or the, peons, plebs, whatever you want to call them, tend to not talk much when you come around because you have your mercenary token on.
No, I mean the rest of the mercenaries. They're
No,
going to
I
be
got it. I'm just
full of scuttlebutt.
I'm getting there. I was telling you the other part because I rolled for both. And then I had a burp, so I didn't want to, burp in your ear. The mercenaries, you find out there is a number of unpleasant dealings they've had to do, like collecting from villages, and they're told to collect a certain amount and not care how much is left for the villages. And the city lord, Bazi, has demanded the amount no matter what, and takes all of it, and he's actually made them collect from areas outside the city's jurisdiction.
Very naughty.
And they talked about how they at least feel like, the Jade Moon mercenaries are like, well, at least we have some value to ourselves, unlike that other group who decided to, totally ransack the town and act like a bunch of brigands.
I guess I'd try and figure out where the orders are coming from as subtly as possible, like not giving myself away, but trying to figure out, are these orders coming from the house, or is this like an issue within the leadership of the mercenary company or something, try and discern where it's coming from.
You would find out that the city leadership doesn't care about what they do. They care about the results and what they receive. And so the group was just told to, maybe rein it in a little bit, or make sure that it doesn't get out again. Basically cover it up better next time. Not actually disciplined or chastised for it. They were more chastised for being found out than they were for not conducting themselves well.
Okay, so as long as there isn't a bunch of rumors going around that the house is employing brigands, the more money you get, the happier they are.
Yep.
Got it.
And it's not just money, it's supplies too. Like they're
okay, yeah, money, food.
They're okay leaving the village starving to death as long as you get the right amount of food that he says you have to get from that village. and you find out that they have intentionally been told to not care about conflicts with the other cities. And if you run into people from those other cities, go ahead and just exterminate. In fact, they talk about how one of the other mercenary groups, not the one you're part of, got paid a bonus for wiping out a full unit from the other city.
Okay.
And they weren't there wasn't a conflict at the time. They just chose to wipe them out because they were there. I rolled a 10, so that's why you're getting so much information. I rolled a d10 to see how much they divulge to you that you're able to find out. So there you go.
Awesome.
Any other questions?
At this time, none for me.
I don't think so.
Go is fine. He's just going to be focusing on, my guess is that I would think there's a tavern in the regional center. So, I mean, he would ask how is this like where we're going to be staying for a while, or are we going to move on to somewhere else?
Oh, we talked to everybody, so we won't need to stay here for much longer. We need to meet back up
Okay.
with everybody if we can.
I'll
Just
I mean,
technically,
I'll
we
just
don't know anything that they all talked about, so if
Yeah.
possible, we need to go find them.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll just wait, and when we finally actually get to somewhere where we're going to be for a while, then I'll do the tavern thing. In the meantime, I'll just play bodyguard.
Okay. Anything else for Gyanya Nemiko?
I don't think that Gian has access to the people that he would need to ask the questions that he wants to ask. So I don't think with the access that he has right now that there's anything else.
Okay. Out of character, if you want to have a question asked by someone else to someone else's connection, you can do that, because I want to make sure you guys have the info so you're prepared.
Right. So my information that I'm looking for is about the people who are being pushed toward this role. Right? So this is like what does that person offer that family that other people in that role couldn't do? Like what is the reason each family is pushing their official? Why do they think they can't get? What is it that they think they can't get from anyone else that they think they can get from the person they're pushing? So that, like, to see if there might be another way that we can get them the things that they're looking for, right? Essentially, it's, you know, it's about what they're looking for and why they think that only their representative can get it.
I answered some of that to Hayu with his conversation.
Okay.
So a lot of that will be answered when you talk with him. I don't know if Matt caught it when I was telling Hayu or not, or Scrappy.
No, I obviously didn't, but that's okay.
Okay.
All right.
But yeah,
that's
a lot of
fine.
that was answered there.
Okay.
Short is their candidate would hold their interests most in mind and tilt the balance of things in their interest. And so
Basically, they all want an unfair advantage.
kind of, except for the one who's kind of in the middle, who instead of an unfair advantage says there should be a vote, but since you want to cause problems, let me smack you down and then I'll take double vote and let you not have a vote since you decided to start problems. That's kind of the short, blunt way of saying it.
Okay. Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. Well, that was a lot of investigation, chat. I hope you guys enjoyed this story, and I hope you lovely players enjoyed. Thank you all for being here. Chat, we appreciate you. Till next time, as always, enjoy the story. Catch y'all next time.